Hello YouTube, this is my Sharp SG-315 music centre, which I've fully overhauled. I think it's from approximately 1974 to 75. It's a nice machine. I've had to do a lot of work on it though. Starting from the right hand side, the tuner scale, the dial lamps, both lamps that illuminate the scale were out, so I've replaced those with new grain of wheat lamps. The same with the tuning indicator. So that's the tuner and the amplifier section. Now the cassette deck had a number of issues. Firstly, it's the standard Sharp drive system with the rubber sleeve on the capstan shaft, which drives a take-up, which drives an idler, which drives the take-up spool. Now that always goes to goo on these Sharps, so I've made a new one up using a plastic tube on the capstan sleeve, new capstan belt, counter belt, new motor because it was the old self-regulating motor as well, which was running a bit slow, so I've replaced it with a new motor with an electronic speed governor. So that was the oh, and I've replaced the playback head in the deck as well. So there's a new playback head as well. So quite a lot of work on the cassette deck. Fairly basic deck. No Dolby noise reduction. The only thing it does have is self-select for Chrome cassette, Type 2 cassettes. Now the turntable, idler drive, ceramic cartridge. Now there was a rumble, very slight rumble. There is a rumble anyway, but it was quite prominent. Now I managed to find a scrap deck from a SG-315, which is a lighter grey, and actually different, well, same shape, S-shaped tone arm, but the tone arm tubing was actually slightly smaller in diameter. But it had a new motor and new idler. So I took the idler out, swapped the idlers out, same problem. Swapped the motors out. Obviously I'd serviced both motors, along with the rubber mounting grommets. They were nice and supple. But just by swapping the idler, still had the same problem. So I exchanged the motors and the problem went away. There is a slight rumble, but I think that's just how these decks were designed. They're not particularly high end. But it was much better with the replacement motor. Now, believe it or not, it's actually a ceramic cartridge. I've put a new stylus on there, and what looks like a counterweight on the back of the tone arm is just plastic. It's fake. Now this tracks at 6 grams. Now to me that was just too heavy. So the actual back of the tone arm is hollow, so I've packed it out with some blue tack to bring the tracking force down to just under 3 grams. Anything under 3 grams it would mistrack, but 3 grams it seems to track nicely, so I've got no issues at all playing my best records on this. So we got tracking at 3 grams. Now the lever here was broken off. I've had to glue it. Now there was a nice metal one on the scrap deck, but I couldn't change it because, as I said earlier, the diameter of the tone arm tubing on the 320 model was actually smaller than this one. So that was annoying. Don't understand that. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration. The tuner is connected to a 300 ohm balanced antenna, indoor antenna, but I'm so close to Sutton Coldfield, BBC stations just come through with so much gain. So that's radio 2. The tuning is just off the scale. Now the speakers, I've got 2 pairs of original Sharp speakers. They don't sound particularly good, but the only problem is they're 4 ohms. It's a 4 ohm impedance amplifier, but I'm running it with these Bowers & Wilkins, slight overkill, but they're a nice sounding speaker. But these are 8 ohms. It's not an issue that way round. If the amplifier is seeing a minimum of 4 ohms, if it sees 8 ohms, it's not going to cause it a great deal of stress. It's just you're not going to get as much volume as you would do if you're using 4 ohms. Now you couldn't do it the other way around. If you had an 8 ohm amplifier and you were running 4 ohm speakers, obviously you've halved the load that the amplifier sees, so you could cause problems. But this way around it's fine, and there's more than enough volume. There we go.
And I think Europe is as well. Just the smaller recommended.
Promotions presenting Northern Soul and Motown in the Soul Lounge at the King's Head in Lichfield. That's WS 13 6P.
There we are. There's the tuner.
8 p.m. till late.
You've got shortwave, which is probably a 49 metre band. Medium wave and long wave. Sorry, I was just distracted because I hear Dancing Dave is in Lichfield. Anyway, moving along to the cassette deck. So select tape. No soft eject, wait for it. Now I've got a nice Heritage cassette. Yep, side 1. The pause is great, it just cuts the power to the capstan motor. Stop, fast forward, rewind, play. I do like these fully mechanical decks. Nice and easy to work on, not like these Logic decks. Counter's working. Those buttons there, you've got an auxiliary input which is on a 5-pin DIN, and the you've got, if you're recording from an AM station, which shifts the oscillator frequency if you had any whistles, but these days who's going to be using that? I wouldn't even record on this. I've got high-end decks to record on. This is a recording I've made from a record on a higher end deck. Sounds good. Okay, last of all, the turntable. Good thing about the idler drive, you've got a neutral position, so saves you putting any flat spots in the idler. Okay, YouTube, thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, the radiogram it's sitting on is another future project. When I get some more time, taking the chassis out of that and rebuilding the chassis, as well as sorting the usual grease and gunk out of that Garrard deck. Nice gram this one. Push-pull amplifier, stereo, push-pull amp. There's 9 valves in this. So that'll be a future project. And there's my Ferguson Video Star, which you saw in the earlier video, all set up. I will do another video on that. I'm waiting for a part for my camcorder, or my camera, which will allow a microphone input, so I can plug the output of the video, because it's linear stereo, into the camera, so I can give you a linear stereo audio clip. So there we are. Okay, YouTube, well, this was all about the SG-315 Sharp Music Centre. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.